So, first of all, thank you very much for George Dipiro for this brilliant program in terms of DAMIN. And thank you very much also to Michael, to this organization that I suppose that very interesting. My presentation will be about minting techniques and quality of coins produced in the Lisbon Mint House. I am not a numismatic historian, I am an economic historian, so my focus will be more in the quality of coins in terms of comparison with some indicators. Well, what are the aim of these presentations? I wanted to answer two questions. The first, the two questions are related with technological evolution. But the first one is about the evolution of minting in the Lisbon Mint House, if this technological evolution increased or not the quality and productivity of coinage. And the second question that I wanted to answer is if this technological evolution in the Lisbon Mint House explains the adoption of gold standard in Portugal in the middle of the 19th century in 1854. So my agenda is related with these two questions. And first of all, I will analyze the technological change with relation with quality of mint coins. And after I will try to discuss a little the relation between these monetary regimes and technological conditions. So, previous considerations, because according to these questions, it is necessary to understand my short story. This is a short story. So, and I needed to underline or highlight some considerations about Portuguese mints and Portuguese monetary regimes. First of all, it is necessary to say that in Portugal, the production of coins since the 15th century was always exclusively royal. So the king has the exclusivity of this mintage. So the mints were royal property. So this is very important because it's very different from other European countries. We have two during these centuries. So between the 15th century and the 18th century, yes, we have two main mints, Lisbon Mint and the Porto Mint. But after 1714, the Lisbon Mint became the only mint. You easily understand the idea because after this period, the beginning of the 18th century, the arrivals of gold from Brazil arrive at Lisbon Mint. So Lisbon Mint centralized all the mintage, the coinage in the kingdom. We have other mints in Brazil, but in the kingdom we have only after 1714 the Lisbon Mint as the mint of the kingdom, of the king. And it is also important to consider, as previous considerations, that we changed the monetary regime during the 19th century. Until 1854, we have bimetallism, and after this date, we have gold standard. So these are previous considerations to understand, I suppose, better what I explain after. I will explain after. So, considering the first topic of my agenda, we first taking into account the technological change and the quality of Portuguese coins. So, it is necessary that to stress that at the end of the 17th century, precisely in 1678, the hammer striking was replaced by the use of the screw press. This is the first topic. The second is that the gold and silver coins were given bedded rims in order to prevent clipping, as you easily understand. And the introduction also of scalloped edge made with use of special punch will make counterfeiting more difficult because discs were more regular. So after the 1678, we have this technological change, other change in the organization of the Lisbon Mint and so on, but I stress only these technological innovations. So, as you can see, the productivity is not very high. The previous presentation of our colleague told us higher productivity. I suppose if I read well and I understood well, more productivity during the 14th and 15th century. And if we compare with the Royal Mint, so the difference is high, is so great. But we need to also to underline the idea that previous I considered, that is that we have more coins in circulation because this productivity is only the productivity of the Lisbon Mint House. So we have also in this period, at the end of the 17th century, new rules about the quality of coins. I stress here, so some officials of the Lisbon Mint are responsible for weighting the coins and supervise the smelting activities, and this is very controlled. I know the reports of the Lisbon Mint House in the archive, and this is very controlled. And the objective, the target, is to have the fineness of gold coins with 22 carats and the silver coins with 11 deniers. What is, I suppose, very good for the patterns of the 18th, 17th, and 18th century. But we have legal tolerance. And I put here the tolerance during the 18th century. And we have here 1 grain for gold coins, and whatever their face value, so 1 grain. And we have, during the 18th century in Portugal, we have coins with nominal value high in comparison with prices and the economic activity. And to silver coins, we have this tolerance that you can see there. So it depends for the lower face value or silver. So to evaluate the quality of these coins, I calculated only for the 18th century, because this is the archive that I know better. I evaluate the quality of the coins, and I calculate the different prices and compared with these legal tolerance. So my idea is to demonstrate if these coins minted in the Lisbon Mint House have or not quality, if we compare different prices. So I calculate the effective deviation rate. So that is very simple to understand, because it's the value of coins and the quantity of coins minted in a year. And this effective price I compare with legal price. So if I have this comparison, as you can see, we can have the effective deviation rate. So a percentage of the deviation in terms of effective price and legal price, okay? Other price that I calculated is the legal deviation. Why this is important? Because this is the percentage of tolerance permitted in the weight of coins, considering the annual composition of the coinage, because it is not only important the weight of coins, but also the composition of these coins. So, and you have here the formula to calculate this legal deviation. And to put an end in this calculation, in this price calculation, I calculated also to obtain the spreads, the lower limit and upper limit. So if we have in the limit only higher face value were minted, we have a spread. And if we have an upper limit, if we have lower face value, we have an upper limit. So it is to calculate the spread. This is this calculation of prices that you have here. So, as you can see, we have the spread, so the blue lines are the upper limit and the lower limit, as you can see. And in what is important here is to stress the idea of the red line. And as you can see, the weight of gold coins did not deviate significantly from legally established weight. We have here 3 points, if you see, 7003, 7023, and 7063. This data of 7023, I consider that is a problem of the source, but this is the source, and it is impossible to change the source. But I suppose that some officials of the Lisbon Mint were mistaken with the price and the coins that are minted. So, if you can see, the red line demonstrates that the quality of the weight of coins, of Portuguese coins, are very good during the 18th century. And I suppose this is why these coins were generally accepted in England and were also accepted during the 18th century in the Bank of Amsterdam, as Adam Smith underlined in your book, Wealth of Nations. And with the same price, the gold, so these coins of Portugal have the same price of the coins of English coins. So we have here the demonstration, I suppose, for this idea. The other idea is to calculate to the silver. We have not coinage of silver, if you see, we have not continued in the silver production, but it's the same exercise, the same empirical exercise, and you can see we have only in 1746, 1747, when the silver changed the price, that we have this peak. But the other price, the other weight of the coins are more or less in the limits of the legal deviation, so are lower than the legal deviation. So this is why I suppose, to stress this idea that the silver coins and essentially the gold coins in Portugal during the 18th century are of high quality. It is also important to my exercise to underline another idea. In these coins produced in the Lisbon Mint House, we have this percentage of the totals of coin mints in small coins. Because for the 19th century, I have a discussion about the gold standard, so I want to highlight this idea. During the 18th century, so between these data, 1718 and 1797, we have these small gold coins, small silver coins, not a lot, but 1428. I suppose that we easily understand that small gold coins are lower because we in Portugal have a lot of gold, and the nominal value of these coins are higher than the other coins. So 1428. So we have here a percentage. If we compare, I have not here the comparison, but if we compare with other mints, sorry, we can say that we have not lower percentage in the total of coins minted. So, after considering the second topic of my agenda, technological changes can be related with monetary regimes. So, and this is an evolution of technological development. Why I put this idea? In terms of theoretical framework, Angela Redish wrote some papers that I put here, the date, that the technological development in the minting of small value coins for everyday transactions is the explanations for each country's adoption of the gold standard. So, we needed to have the idea that monometallism or gold standard in Portugal was adopted in 1854. So let me see the technological innovation and relate this technological innovation with this gold standard or not. If this technological innovation probably explain or not this is my point, explain or not this change of monetary regime. I put here in a table to summarize that in Portugal we have another change very important in technological innovations. In 1835, a steam engine with 16 horsepower was adopted from the factory of Bolton, that you know very well. You are numismatic and you are expertise in technological innovations. And you have here, so a change in the technological mint in the Lisbon Mint House. But what is the problem? If you see in 1856, the director of the Mint underlined a lot of problems. Did you know that we should underline another time that in 1854 we have gold standard. But in 1856, the director of the Mint House claimed for the irregular service. So we have not a service that can coin the small coins necessary to the 1854 charter. And this problem of irregular service and the currency of small value are very, are very difficult to have so these small coins and the service more regular. This is the idea. The director of the Mint House, the Lisbon Mint House, informed the Minister of Finance. So we have here a problem. Why the Minister of Finance? Because we have a monetary regime that changed 2 years before. So this is, and the problems persist. And at the end of the 1860s, sorry, it's a mistake, at the end of the 1860s, we changed to a steam engine of 30 horsepower, 3 rolling mills, so more technological improvements, and 3 minting presses. So we have here the companies that furnish these technological improvements. And in 1883, minting presses for Cale Tourneley. So this is this table. Want to summarize the problems that we have in the Lisbon Mint House. We have technological improvements, but these technological improvements did not respond to the production of small coins, the production of regular production. So all these 3 steps, 1835, 86, 1883, are so steps not well succeed. I can say this with the information about the archives of Lisbon Mint. So, to conclude my presentation, very quick, first of all, I suppose that we have in the Lisbon Mint House so linear technological evolution since the end of the 17th century, but we have not an improvement, a linear improvement of quality. This is a disconnection between these 2 subjects. So perhaps we think technological evolution, improvement of quality, but in the Lisbon Mint House, my finding is this that I want to underline. The second point for my topic is there was no effective technological development prior to the switch of gold standard. During the 18th century, we have minting coins of small gold and silver coins. So, and we have difficulties to have these small coins minted during the 19th century. And to put an end, I don't know if it is a connection with other, but I have here the idea of Eliner about territorial currencies, the theoretical framework of Eliner. And he stresses that the regions where state had an important role in legislation, like Portugal, the money was rarely homogeneous. I suppose it is not Portuguese case if we if you analyze the 18th century. So I put this here, I don't know if I'm right or not, but Portugal can be compared during the 18th century, not during the 19th, with the Mughal empires where the consistency of the purity and standard was very high. like eyeliner stress. So thank you for your attention, and this is the Lisbon Mint House since the 1930s, I suppose. This is our Lisbon Mint House. Thank you very much.